My name is Elena. I'm 21 years old, and today, I want to tell you about the night I thought my life ended. But it was actually the night everything quietly began. When people imagine a wedding night, they picture something soft: love, candles, gentle laughter, whispered promises. A moment where two people move closer, not further apart. But when I close my eyes and think about mine, I don't see warmth. I hear the rain, not gentle, not comforting. Restless, uneasy, like the sky itself couldn't stay still, like something up there knew what was coming and was trying to warn me. The windows trembled under its weight. Each drop hit the glass harder than it should have, sharp, uneven, impatient, like knocking, again and again and again, not asking to be let in, but refusing to be ignored. My hands were cold, not the kind of cold you feel in winter, but the kind that starts somewhere deeper and slowly spreads outward until even your fingertips stop feeling like your own. I held them together, tight, tried to control the trembling, but they wouldn't listen. My fingers kept slipping against each other, like even they were trying to pull away from something my mind hadn't fully understood yet, but my body already had. And then there was him, the man standing in front of me, still, silent, watching, but not in a way I could read. A man I believed had bought my future, a man I thought I would have to survive, not love, a man I had already prepared myself to fear, before I had even spoken a single word to him. That night, I walked into that room believing something inside me had ended. That freedom was no longer mine. That choice was something I used to have, not something I still owned. That I had become something else entirely. Not a person, a responsibility, a solution, a transaction. Something passed from one hand to another, with silence instead of consent. But I was wrong, because sometimes the truth doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't break doors down or demand to be seen. Sometimes it simply waits, quietly, until you're still enough to finally notice it sitting beside you in the dark. It started 2 weeks before the wedding. The house felt wrong the moment I stepped inside. Not empty, not quiet, heavy, like the walls had absorbed something and were now holding onto it, refusing to let it go. The kind of silence that doesn't stay around you, but presses into you, filling your lungs, making every breath feel borrowed, not natural. For a moment, I didn't move, because something inside me, something small but certain, whispered a truth I wasn't ready to hear yet. This isn't going to end well. I walked toward the kitchen slowly. Each step felt louder than it should have, even though the house itself was completely still. My father was sitting there, unmoving. A glass rested in front of him, untouched, but his fingers were wrapped around it tightly, too tightly. His knuckles had turned pale, almost white, like he was holding onto the only thing keeping him from falling apart. "Dad?" No response, not even a shift. I stepped closer, careful, measured, like I was approaching something fragile, something that might break if I existed too loudly around it. Then he looked up, and something inside me cracked, because I had seen my dad in pain before. I had seen him tired, grieving, lost, but I had never seen fear in his eyes. Not like this. This wasn't worry, this wasn't stress. This was defeat. The kind that settles in a person quietly, long before they admit it out loud. "I made a mistake," he said. His voice didn't sound like his own. It felt distant, heavy, like each word had to be dragged up from somewhere deep, where it had been sitting, growing heavier with time. Before he could continue, my eyes dropped to the table. Papers, slightly crumpled, edges bent, like they had been picked up, read, put down, again and again, as if repeating them might somehow change what they said. And then I saw it, a name, one I didn't recognize then, but one that would stay with me, long after everything else had faded. The same table, where my mother used to laugh softly while serving dinner, where warmth used to live so easily, now held nothing but silence and fear. The story came in pieces, broken sentences, long pauses, words that resisted being spoken, as if saying them out loud would make them more real than they already were. A business deal, the wrong people, trust placed in the wrong hands, and now a debt, not just large, unreal, the kind of number your mind doesn't process. It just shuts down. They're going to take everything, he said. This house, everything your mother left. His voice broke, and in that moment, I saw it. Not just fear, guilt, the kind that doesn't fade with time, the kind that stays quietly, patiently, and eats away at a person from the inside, until there's nothing left but regret. My chest tightened. Because this house wasn't just a place, it was memory. Her voice, calling my name from another room. Her laughter, soft, warm, still echoing if you stood in the hallway long enough. Sunlight across the floor, from a time when life didn't feel like something you had to survive. How much, I asked. When he told me, everything inside me went still. No panic, no anger, just a slow, sinking realization. There was no way out. Then he said it. There is one way. My fingers curled slowly, tightening without me noticing. What is it? He didn't look at me. Adrian Hale. The name didn't just sound unfamiliar. It felt heavy, like it carried weight I didn't understand yet, but would soon. He'll clear everything, my voice lowered. What does he want? Silence, and in that silence, the answer formed on its own. He wants to marry you. Something inside me expected the world to break, to shatter, to react, but it didn't. Everything just went quiet. You agreed? I had no choice. I was trying to save us. Save us. The words echoed, but not in a comforting way, because in that moment, it didn't feel like I was being saved. It felt like I was being offered. That night, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I went to my room, closed the door, and stood in front of the mirror. The girl staring back at me looked calm, too calm. Her eyes weren't filled with fear. They were empty, and somehow, that was worse. I'm sorry, I whispered, because I knew something she didn't want to accept yet. She didn't get to choose anymore. The door closed, click, locked. The sound didn't just echo in the room. It echoed inside me. This was it. Every thought I had avoided, every fear I had pushed away, was now standing right in front of me. Real, unavoidable. The storm outside grew louder, or maybe I was just hearing it more clearly now. I turned toward him, forced my voice to stay steady. Whatever you want, just do it. No hesitation, no emotion. And that scared me, because fear would have meant I still cared. This felt like surrender. I don't like waiting. Silence. A few seconds. Too long. Then, what do you think I want? A bitter breath left me. You paid for everything. Isn't that obvious? For a moment, something shifted in his expression. Not anger, something quieter, something almost hurt. Your father didn't tell you, did he? Tell me what? I didn't buy you. The words didn't hit all at once. They stayed there, between us, waiting. He refused help, he continued, so he turned it into this. My thoughts stumbled. Everything I had built in my mind, every wall I had put up to protect myself, started cracking. Then why agree? A pause, not hesitation, choice. Because I thought I could give you something better than what you were losing. Darkness. The lights went out. For a second, everything disappeared. Then, a flame. A candle. Its light flickered between us. Not strong enough to fill the room, but enough to keep it from feeling empty. And for the first time, I saw him. Not the name, not the power, just a man. Tired. The kind of tired that lives behind your eyes. After you've spent too long being strong for everyone else, with no one to be weak in front of. Sit, he said. We sat on the floor, not close, not far, just enough space to breathe. My mind was still searching for something wrong. Kindness like this usually comes with a cost. It has to. I thought you hated me, he said. I thought you were dangerous, I replied. A small smile appeared. Real. I don't know how to talk to people. A pause. I don't trust them. And for some reason, I believed him. Because it didn't sound like pride. It sounded like truth. Time passed. At one point, he reached toward me. I froze. Every part of me braced, waiting. But he didn't touch me. He only moved the candle closer, so the light wouldn't fade. And something inside me shifted. Not completely. Not all at once, but enough. He stood up. You take the bed. And you? I'll stay here. No hesitation, no expectation, just respect. He placed a blanket on the floor, turned away, giving me space. I lay down slowly, still watching him, trying to understand something unfamiliar. Safety. My hands weren't shaking anymore. I didn't even notice when they stopped. The storm outside softened, and for the first time that day, I wasn't afraid. And for the first time, I understood something. That night, no one touched me, no one forced me, but something still changed. Something quiet, something small, but something real. And as sleep slowly pulled me under, one thought stayed with me. I walked into that room believing I had been cold, but for the first time in my life, I wasn't something to be taken. I was someone he chose not to break. If you're still thinking about this story, that means it did its job. Subscribe for more.